All right, so if you will go ahead and open up your book to page 8, we are going to start by talking about posture at the piano. And this is something that's actually pretty fundamental to being able to play comfortably and easily. And the two most important things for us to consider are bench height. You want your elbows to be pretty much parallel with the top of the keyboard. I call if you're too low, you get a T-Rex arm. Rare do people go too high, but if you have a downward slope on your arms, that's also not good. You want to really have just a nice parallel line there. And then also distance from the keyboard. You can do the Superman test, which is where you put your fists out right in front of you. You don't want to be pressed up against the fallboard of the piano, and you also don't want your hands to be way out here. In most cases, adult students want to sit too close and too low because it feels a little bit more comfortable for us to be sort of hidden away at the keyboard. So if you're not sure if you're doing it quite right, scoot a little bit back and scoot a little bit up if you can. If you don't have an adjustable bench, which I don't either, you can actually sit on a pillow or a rolled up yoga mat or something like that to give yourself a little bit of extra height to make that nice and comfortable. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is our actual hand posture and our finger numbers. So if we hold up our hands in front of us like this, the thumb is finger 1. Slightly different from how we might typically refer to our fingers, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So you can practice it a couple of times. It's all right if you maybe want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we start with thumbs, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you will then, you can place your hands on your lap, on the piano keyboard, on the fallboard area. And what I want you to do is just gently scratch the appropriate finger on the key. So try with finger 1s. Scratch. Finger 2, a little scratch. Finger 3, finger 4, finger 5. And make sure you're not doing this, 2, with your other fingers way up in the air. Try to keep your hand in a nice rounded hand shape with curved fingertips and move each finger individually. Excellent. Okay, so now I'd like for you to take your right hand and starting on any white key of your choice, you're going to play that key with finger 1 3 times, keeping a nice bounce in your wrist. 1, 1. Great. Now you're going to play that same key, remember the key, and move to finger 2. And you're going to do the same exact thing. 2, 2, 2. Now we're going to do finger 3. Same exact way. Move that finger onto that key. 3, 3, 3. 4, 4, 4. And then 5, 5, 5. Excellent. Now we're going to do left hand. Start on any key of your choice and start with finger 1. Play with a nice bounce. Now 2. Now 3. Now 4. Now 5. Excellent job. So if you want to practice this a little bit more, you can do more exercises like this on the keyboard, playing specific notes with specific finger numbers. If you have somebody at home with you, you can have them call out a random number between 1 and 5 and have you hold it up and wiggle your fingers or play notes on the keyboard. You can also practice moving outward from finger 1 to 5 as you play and also inward. And notice the differences in feeling between playing in different directions and playing with different fingers. So after you feel comfortable with those, let's go ahead and turn the page over to page 10. And we're going to be talking about high and low sounds on the keyboard. And this is a little bit more intuitive for most adult students. High sounds sound high in pitch. Low is the area where we have sounds that are low in pitch. So if we notice on our keyboard, we have two different sets of keys. We have the white keys here, the black keys here, and the black keys are grouped into groups of 2s and 3s. So what I would like for you to do is to take your left hand and play all of the groups of 2 black keys from high to low. Let's say that again. I want you to take your left hand. I want you to play the groups of 2 black keys. And I want you to start high and move down low. Okay, let's try it together. Excellent job. So now let's go ahead and take your right hand on a group of 3 black keys and play from low to high. Right hand, 3 black keys, low to high. Let's do it together. Excellent. Very, very nice. So the next item that we are going to learn about is soft and loud sounds on the keyboard. This is one that, again, working with adult students, children often get confused between low and high and soft and loud. But low and high refers to pitch, soft and loud refers to volume. And the terminology that we use in piano is we use Italian words to talk about soft and loud. So our word for soft in Italian is actually piano, it's the name of our instrument, and we abbreviate that as just a P. And our word for loud is forte, which is abbreviated as just an F. If you're curious about why is the piano named the word soft in Italian, it is because the original name of this instrument, when it was invented in 1709, was Gravicembalo col pianoforte, which means big harpsichord with loud and soft. The instrument that was most used previous to the piano looked a lot like a piano in terms of the structure of the keys. It was much smaller and it could not differentiate between loud and soft sounds. No matter how hard you played, it could only play one volume. So when the harpsichord maker decided to get a little bit creative, he was able to invent an instrument that was quite a lot bigger and that could play louder and soft, and so he named it as such. So there's your little brief music history lesson. So we're going to go ahead and now look over at page 11, and we are going to play Raindrops for right hand. So we are going to start and end in the middle of the keyboard, and we're going to use right hand. I have a cat also who may invade lessons at various points in time. So we're going to start in the middle of our keyboard, and we're going to use right hand finger 2 and 3 together. And we're going to use the groups of 2 black keys going up the keyboard and then back down, stopping in the middle. So we're going to be playing piano or softly. It's the raindrops. So you're going to be sinking gently into the keys with kind of a slow movement and also not using too much weight from your arm throughout. And then we're also going to press down the damper pedal, which if you have an electric keyboard, it should be the only pedal that you have. And if you have an acoustic piano, it's going to be the pedal that is the furthest on the right. Okay? So let's go ahead and try. So we're going to take right hand, group of 2 black keys with finger 2 and 3, starting in the middle, moving up, and then back down. 1, 2, ready, go. And back down. Let's do it one more time, and you can pause the video as long as you need to practice this, and then come back and join us for the second time. Okay, ready, go. Excellent job! So we are now going to move on to Thunder, which is a piece for our left hand. And we're going to be doing essentially the same thing. We're going to start in the middle with our left hand. We're going to move all the way down and then come back up. We're going to play the damper pedal, but this time we're going to play it forte to get that really rich, thunderous sound. So you're going to move a little bit more quickly with your arm and also let more of the weight coming from your shoulder, down your elbow, down your wrist to depress the key. So let's go ahead and take that one from the beginning. 1, 2, ready, go. It's pretty fun to do. So go ahead and practice as you need to, and then come back and join us to do it a second time. 1, 2, ready, go. Excellent job. All right, so now I'd like you to pause the video, and the next step is for you to play both the raindrops and thunder, this time using fingers 2, 3, and 4 on the groups of 3 black keys. So you're going to repeat the exact same instructions, except for this time, I'd like for you to play the piece on groups of 3 black keys, starting with raindrops for your right hand and ending with thunder for your left hand. So go ahead and pause the video and practice that. And then we're going to come back and turn our page over to page 12. And we're going to be starting with our first official piece. Congratulations, you're already a pianist after only a few minutes. So the first thing that I would like for you to notice on your page, and one of the most important things to look for as you practice, is the top of each page has a really helpful instructional section, and it also shows you which keys to play with which hand. So never ignore this top part of the page for each piece. A lot of people have questions like, well, where am I supposed to put my hands? Which one am I supposed to do? So easy. Make sure that you always look up here, and it's going to give you a lot of helpful information to get started. I recommend if there's something that is giving you trouble particularly, go ahead and circle it up here so that it helps you remember. So if we look at the top of this page, we can see that we're going to start with our left hand on a group of 2 black keys. And our right hand is going to have finger 1, 2, 3 on the next group of 3 black keys, with finger 5 playing on that bottom note of the higher group of 2 black keys. If you look at it, it's a lot easier than the way that I just explained it. So we found that hand position. So now what we're going to do is also pay attention to, in your music, it shows us going back and forth between left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand, and then we go over to the next page. We read music like we read words on a page from left to right, and both hands together make one line of music. So we don't read the right hand part first and then the left hand part. We read that all together as one line. So you're going to follow going left hand, right hand, left hand, this line all together, then go down here, then turn the page, going here, and then going here. So something that might be very helpful is to circle your left hand parts and right hand parts. You can use 2 different colors if you find that is a good tool for you to be able to differentiate between which hand is playing when. You can also draw arrows showing that you're going up to right hand or down to left hand. That can also be really helpful depending on what is going to work best for you. Okay, so now that you have your page all marked up with the guidelines that you might need, let's go ahead and take a quick peek at this from the very beginning. So let's go ahead and find that hand position that we found earlier. Left hand 3, 2, with the 2 glide keys. Right hand starting on that group of 3. Pinky landing on a group of 2. And what I want you to go ahead and just do is tap through each finger that you have placed down. So play your left hand finger 3, your left hand finger 2, your right hand finger 1, your right hand finger 2, your right hand finger 3, your right hand finger 5. Okay? So we'll go ahead and take a look from the very beginning now. Notice we have the length of space in between each number. Kind of gives us an indication of the rhythm, but they're assuming that this is probably a pretty familiar tune, so you're just going to play it with the rhythm that you already know so well. So let's go ahead and try from the very beginning, and I'm going to say the finger numbers out loud as we go. Okay? 1, 2, 3, ready, go. 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, left hand, 2, 3, 3, right hand, 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 5. We're going to the next page. We're still on our right hand. 3, 5, 5, 3, 1. Left hand 3, 2. Right hand 1. Left hand 2, 3. 3. Right hand 1. 3, 1, 3. 2, 1. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play that melody through one more time for you without saying the finger numbers out loud. And then I want you to pause the video and practice until you feel that you can play this pretty close to perfectly at around that tempo. Okay, so I'll play it through one more time as a demonstration, and then you'll pause and practice. Excellent job. So go ahead and take a moment and practice that through a few times until you feel like you've really nailed it. All right, so now that you've practiced that, we're going to go ahead and add the teacher duet part. So this is going to be me playing an accompaniment to the part that you play. If you think that you have the piece nailed, and it's difficult to play with a duet, that's totally normal. A lot of times when we're playing on our own, we don't notice the times that we make little hesitations or little pauses. And when you have another part going on with you, it can bring to the forefront when we have those little inconsistencies. So keep practicing, and practicing with the duet is a great way to add that consistent tempo to your playing. So we're going to go ahead and give this a try. Your first note, that finger 3 with your left hand, comes in before I start my part. So I'm going to count in with a 1, 2, 3, ready, go. And you'll play your left hand 3, 1, and I'll come in when you play your right hand 1. Okay? I'm sure if you play it a couple times, it will make total sense. So let's go ahead and give it a try. All together. I'm counting in. 1, 2, 3, ready, go. Excellent job. So keep practicing that until you feel like you've got it as well. Then the next step that you can take to practice Amazing Grace is if you look over at the bottom of page 13, it has a discovery element. And in this book, those are just always ways to deepen what you've just been learning or add a new layer to what you've previously been working on. So you're going to shift your hands and play Amazing Grace on the white keys. So you're just going to move down to the keys that they have right there, which are the white keys right next to the black keys that you played on previously. And you're going to play the piece exactly as written, just with your fingers in this new hand position. So I'll go ahead and play through what it will sound like when you play it on those keys. That way you can check to make sure that you're playing the right notes. 1, 2, 3, ready, go. Excellent. So go ahead and keep working on those pages until you feel like you have it mastered with the duet and also in that new hand position. All right, so next we are going to look over at page 14, and we are introducing some rhythm values on this page. So when we look at these shapes that we have down here at the bottom, the shape of the note, whether it's a filled in circle with a stem, whether it's an open circle with a stem, does it have a dot, does it have no stem, tells us about the duration of the note. How long do we play that note for? So we're going to go ahead and look at these rhythm value exercises that we have on page 14. If you have a metronome, this is a great time to use your metronome. You can also use a metronome app on your phone, and I'll show you exactly which the very best one is. It's called Tonal Energy Tuner. It looks like that one. It's right in the middle right there, TE Tuner. And if you click on this one gives you an opportunity to both check the tune of your instrument. If you have an electric piano, there's not a lot you can do about that, but if you have an acoustic piano, it might let you know whether or not you need to get your instrument tuned. You can also do that if you play any other instruments or sing, and then there's also a great metronome function. So we are going to go ahead and use this in just one moment, but let's introduce first. Our first note value that we have here is the quarter note. This may be familiar to a lot of you from grade school or previous musical experience, but it is a filled-in circle with a stem, and we hold this for one count. So we can count our quarter note: 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Our next note value looks exactly like a quarter note, except for it has an open circle. And this one is a half note, and this one is held for 2 counts. So we count it as 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Our next note value is the dotted half note. And when we add a dot to the side of a note, it multiplies that note's value by 1.5. So it adds half the length of the note to itself. Is that too much math for you? It's too much math for me. So for our purposes, it adds 1 count. So the dotted half note gets 3 counts. So the way that they have it demonstrated here is in the context of a 4-beat figure. A lot of times we're going to have groups in 4 beats. So the way that you might hear a dotted half note is as 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. All right, and then our very last note value is a whole note, which is an open circle with no stem coming out of the top. And this one is counted 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. All right, so we're going to go ahead and try playing these note patterns that we have for each note value. So we're going to play this line first, then this line, then this line, then this line with our metronome on. And we're going to do each one of those groups 4 times. So if you have a metronome, well, actually probably don't use a metronome because I'm going to play the metronome and that might create some feedback or something strange. So we're going to set it to 95 so that it's not too fast. All right. It's a great idea to listen to it loop a couple times so you get an idea of the tempo. And we'll go ahead and start. You can use right hand or left hand. And we're going to start with our groups of quarter notes. We're going to play that group, that line, 4 times. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Great job! So if that's a little bit fast, you're obviously welcome to go ahead and pause and practice at a slower tempo, and then join us again and try that again. We're going to go ahead and move on to our half note. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Awesome. So let's go ahead and do our dotted half note figure. So we do a dotted half note paired with a quarter note so that we can keep it in a 4-beat group. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3, 1. Perfect. And then we'll go ahead and finish up with our whole notes. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. Very, very nice. So I would encourage you to go ahead and practice that a few more times. If you have a metronome app or a regular metronome, you can try this at a variety of different tempos. So the tempo is how fast that click goes. I could set my click down to 75 if I wanted a nice slow pace to practice with. You could also go up to, let's say you wanted to go really fast and take it at 150. That would be pretty speedy. So you can try doing these little exercises at any tempo that you like. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple of flashcard exercises for you to practice. So I'm just going to hold it up, and I want you to pause the video on the flashcard and then try to play this rhythm at a moderate pace, whatever a moderate pace for you is. And then I will come back and play how it sounds so that you can kind of check yourself a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and show this up to the camera, and you can pause right here. Look at this. You're welcome to clap it, tap it, or play it on your piano keyboard. But here is our first one. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and play this so you can hear. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right, awesome. So let's go ahead and do one more. And practice this one, and then I will play for you how this one is going to sound. All right. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. So you can go ahead and continue to practice those as many times as you need. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to page 15, and we're going to look at Camptown races. So if we look right up here at the top, as usual, they have some very helpful guidance for us here. So we have our hand position with our left hand on a group of 3 black keys, our right hand on a group of 2 black keys, and also you can see exactly which finger numbers we are going to use. And then if you also look at the very top, I would have you follow exactly the practice recommendation that they have right here. So you're going to go ahead and close your keyboard lid, or you can just tap on the edge or the side or just wherever. We're going to tap the rhythm of this piece through, and then you're going to practice this song 3 ways. You're going to play the song while saying the finger numbers out loud. Then you're going to play the song saying the counts out loud, so those rhythms. And then you're going to play the song saying the words out loud. And then we're going to do it a 4th way, and we're going to include our teacher duet for the 4th time. So let's go ahead and start by tapping and counting the rhythm all together. And same thing, we read this whole line as one line of music, and then the second one is one line of music. You can circle the right hand and left hand parts and draw arrows if you need to. You can even write in the counts extra to what's written if that will be helpful for you. So let's go ahead and try it from the very beginning. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, awesome. So go ahead and practice that a few times if you need to. And then we're going to go ahead and find our starting hand position. Left hand on a group of 3 black keys, right hand on a group of 2 black keys. And we're going to play the song through using our finger numbers. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, Excellent job. So you guys will get to listen to a lot of my beautiful singing throughout this course. So go ahead and now pause the video, and I want you to practice playing this piece with now saying the rhythm counts aloud, and then lastly playing with the words to the song, the lyrics to the song. And then we're going to join back and play it with the teacher part. All right, so I'll go ahead and count us into the teacher duet, and you can play this several times until you feel like you have it mastered. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, and then I'm also going to do a faster version of the duet in case anybody is a speed demon on the keys and wants to be able to play it with a little bit of a faster accompaniment. So here we go with that one. 1, 2, ready, go. There you go. So you can go ahead and practice playing that as many times as you need, and then we'll come back to look over at page 16. All right, so moving right along to page 16. So far we've mostly been looking at playing on the black keys, and now we're going to go ahead and move on to playing on the white keys. So on our white keys, each of them has an alphabetical name. And our musical alphabet is much simpler than the regular alphabet because it's only 7 letters. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And they repeat in exactly that pattern, starting from the very lowest part of the piano all the way to the very highest part of the piano. So we're going to go ahead and play through all of the white keys on the piano, saying the names out loud. The very lowest key on the piano is an A, which makes it very easy to start with. So what we're going to do is once you get to around the middle of your piano, where the name of your piano is, we're going to switch from left hand to right hand. So we're going to start with left hand on the low notes and right hand for the high notes. And we're going to go ahead and play through from the very low to the very high, saying those letter names out loud. 1, 2, ready, go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, right hand, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, 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 C. There we go. So you can practice through that a few times if you still need a little bit of work on that. And then we're going to look at our song here called Musical Alphabet Melody. And they show you right here how to locate the note A all on its own. So you're going to look for the group of 3 black keys and then find the A that comes in between those top 2. And you're going to take your right hand and find an A near the middle of the keyboard. And you're going to play with just your finger 3. So you're going to play up the alphabet all the way up to G, and then coming back down. You can circle the half notes here as you need to remember to hold. And then also these little lines with the 2 dots at the end is a repeat sign, which means we just play the whole thing twice. We're going to play it forte the first time or loud, and piano or quietly the second time through. So let's go ahead and try this together once you've found your A. And let's take our right hand and play this through. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Hold. G, F, E, B, C, B, A. Hold. Repeat. Excellent. So go ahead and practice that and then come back for the teacher part. So we'll go ahead and count in together. 1, 2, don't forget the repeats. Beautiful job. Let's go ahead and look over at our page 17. And we're going to be practicing playing and identifying our groups of C, D, E keys. So if you locate your groups of 2 black keys, the right hand white key notes that come right below those are our group of C, D, E. So you're going to play those keys all together at the same time. And if you need help remembering exactly which notes are, D comes in the middle of the 2 black keys. They have hey diddle diddle, D's in the middle. A lot of kids I know say that D goes in the doghouse between the 2 black keys. So once you find those groups of C, D, E, we're going to take our right hand on C, D, E keys and play this one from the very beginning. So we're going to use fingers 2, 3, and 4 to play groups of C, D, E, jumping up each group, going higher on the piano, and then you're going to reverse and go back down, and it says that right in that little corner. And I'll give you a second to think, but what note value, what rhythm value do we have here? It's a whole note. So we're going to play each of these groups for 4 counts. So starting with right hand, let's go ahead and try this from the beginning. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, jump up. 2, 3, jump up. 2, 3, jump up. 2, 3, back down. 2, 3, back down. 2, 3, back down. 2, 3, back down. Excellent job. So I would like for you to go ahead and do the exact same thing with your left hand. Playing this piece left hand on C, D, E keys. So go ahead and practice that, and then we'll come to page 19 with Merrily We Roll Along. All right, so we're going to start off our practice of this piece by looking up at the top as usual. We're going to follow these practice directions that our book gives us, and notice our starting hand position, which has our right hand on a group of C, D, E, and our left hand on a group of C, D, E. And if we go ahead and look down at our music, we have our first line, which starts with our right hand, and then the second line is with our left hand. And as we learned on our last page, we have here, can you tell me if these are blocked or broken intervals that we have? Yes, they're blocked intervals, which means we play those notes together at the exact same time. So we're going to start out by tapping or clapping and counting the rhythm of this piece aloud. So we're going to start from the very beginning, and you can tap, clap, and count aloud. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. So now we're going to go ahead and find our starting hand position. Left hand finger 3 on a C, and then D and E. Right hand finger 1 on C and D and E. And we're going to play it the first time in the middle of the piano here and say the finger numbers out loud. And when we get to those blocked intervals, I'm just going to say together, together as we do that, okay? So let's go ahead and try it from the very beginning. 1, 2, ready, go. 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, together, together. 2, 2, 2. 3, together, together. Left hand. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Together, together. 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Excellent job. So I would like for you to practice this one more time. 2 more times, actually. You're going to play it once more, saying the letter names out loud. So saying E, D, C, D, E, together, together. And then you're going to also practice it while playing it and counting the rhythms out loud. So go ahead and pause the video and practice the piece both of those ways until you feel like you have it going pretty well. And then we're going to try playing it with the accompaniment. All right, so if you're ready to go, we're going to go ahead and try it with our teacher part, and I'll count you in. 1, 2, ready, go. Excellent job. So the next thing that we're going to do, you can practice that a few times until you feel like you have it mastered, is we're going to try playing this piece on a few different hand placements. So the one that you can start with is that is suggested right down here is playing the piece now on groups of 3 black keys. And you're going to follow along with the finger numbers. And the other thing that you're going to follow along with is what we call the contour. So that is as the notes go up and down, sort of the shapes of the lines. And that can tell us a lot of information about, are we moving up, are we moving down, are our notes staying the same? And you can do that even if you're playing in a different hand position. So go ahead and pause the video and practice this song, Merrily We Roll Along, on groups of 3 black keys. All right, and once you've done that, I want you to choose your own adventure. And you're going to choose either a G position or an F position to play this piece in next. So to find that hand placement, we're going to call what we have at the very top of the page a C position, because the lowest note that either hand plays is a C. So we have our right hand thumb on C, our left hand finger 3 on C. And so we're just going to move those fingers, our right hand finger 1, our left hand finger 3, up to either a G or an F if you're going to do it in either one. You're also welcome to do both if you're an overachiever. But I want you to go ahead and find that hand position for G or for F. And I want you to try playing the piece in that position. And note, what can you use on the page that's already there, and what do you have to do differently? Which elements can't you use to help you find your notes? So I'll let you think about that for a second, and then I'll tell you what it is. So our rhythms stay the exact same if we're using a different hand placement or hand position, and our finger numbers also stay the exact same. So we can use those finger numbers, we can use our same rhythms, and that contour that we talked about. As we watch the notes go up and down, the direction of that stays exactly the same, regardless of which hand placement or hand position we use. All right, so go ahead and practice all of those super fun ways to play Merrily We Roll Along, and then we will go ahead and move on to our next page. All right, so the next page that we're going to be looking at is page 20, talking about playing FGAB groups on the piano. So if we locate our groups of 3 black keys, and then we look for the 4 white keys underneath that group of 3. That is F, G, A, B. So what we're going to go ahead and start with is taking our left hand. We're going to take fingers 5, 4, 3, 2, and play those groups of F, G, A, B, starting in the middle, going to the bottom, and then going back to the top. So just like this, all together. 1, 2, ready, go. And back up. Excellent. We're going to do the exact same thing with the right hand, going up and then back down. Ready, go. Back down. Perfect. An important note that I forgot to mention last time is that if you have a keyboard with fewer notes, you can do exactly the same things that we're doing here, just use fewer repetitions of those groups. So just go as high as you can go and then go back down, but keep everything else exactly the same. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do an interval warm-up with F and A. So we're going to start with our left hand, fingers 1 and 3, and you're going to play F or A, F together, A, F together. So let's go ahead and try that all together, going down, and then we're going to come back up. Ready, go. A, F together, A, F together, A, F together, back up, A, F together, back up, A, F together. Great job. Now we're going to do the same thing with our right hand. F, A together, F, A together. Okay? Ready, go. F, A together, jump up. F, A together, jump up. F, A together, jump up. F, A together, jump up, back down. F, A together, back down. F, A together, jump down. F, A together. Excellent job. So now I'd like for you to try both of those warm-ups. Now using fingers 2 and 4. So going A, F, and then going back up with your right hand. But this time you're going to use fingers 2 and 4 on both hands. So go ahead and pause and try those warm-ups with those finger numbers. Okay, so let's go ahead and flip the page. And if you chose the F position for Merrily We Roll Along, you're in luck because that's exactly what is on this next page. Whenever we play a song with a new group of notes, a different group of notes than we did the first time, we call that transposition. So this is Merrily We Roll Along, transposed to an F position. And in this, we are also learning about measures. And this is very, very simple. Any space between these lines called bar lines, this is a measure, this is a measure, this is a measure, this is a measure. And it really does exactly what it says it does. It just measures our bits of music into groups of beats. We'll learn about that a little bit later on, but for our purposes right now, our measures are going to be 4 beats. So our bar lines are going to cut off every 4 beats. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our Merrily We Roll Along in F. So if you've already practiced this one, you can just do it one more time. But this should be pretty easy. It should be pretty easy even if you did the other one because it's simple enough. So we're going to start out by finding that hand position at the top. And we're going to go ahead and skip saying finger numbers and go straight into playing letter names as we say this out loud. So we're going to start with our right hand, start with our left hand on the second line. 1, 2, ready, go. A, G, F, G, A, together, together. G, G, hold. A, together, together. Left hand. A, G, F, G, A, together, together. G, G, A, G, F. Okay, excellent job. So, how many measures do we have in Merrily We Roll Along? I'll let you count for a second. Let's see if you can figure it out. It's 8 measures total. And you'll find that in a lot of our pieces, we're going to have even numbers. And a lot of times we can form them into groups of 2s and groups of 4s. So let's go ahead and turn the page and see what we have next. So for our pentascale warm-up that we have on page 22, we're going to be talking about the idea of seconds. So we discussed intervals, and basically that's the distance between 2 notes. And we use the number that tells us how many note names we have between these 2 notes. So here we're going to be talking about seconds. So the interval of a second moves up or down to the very next key or the very next letter name. So from C to D is a second because it's 2 letter names. D to E is a second because it's 2 letter names. E, F, F, G, G, A, also going down. A, G, G, F, F, E, E, D, etc. Those are all seconds. So when we play scales or a lot of warm-up activities, we are moving in seconds. So we're playing one note to the very next note. We're playing that note and its neighbors. And when we talk about pentascales, which is our C pentascale warm-up that we have here, a pentascale is a 5-note scale. So we're going to be playing 5 intervals of a second as we play this scale. So we are going to go ahead and find our C pentascale hand placement. And this is going to be a very important thing for us to learn is this hand position here where we have our left hand finger 5 on C and our right hand finger 1 on C as well. Right, so we're going to go ahead and find that hand position, that C pentascale hand placement for both hands. Right hand thumb on C, left hand pinky on C. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and begin with our right hand, and then we're going to play our left hand on the second line, and then we're going to repeat the whole thing one more time. Playing forte the first time, piano the second time. And we're going to follow their practice recommendation and begin by playing and saying our finger numbers out loud. Right? 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the next line, left hand go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and repeat. Excellent job. So I'd like for you to practice it exactly that way, playing the next time saying finger numbers out loud, and then the next time playing with saying the counts out loud. And then after that, your next step is to play it on 2 high groups of C, D, E, F, G, so in a high C pentascale position, and then in a low C pentascale position. So go through and practice it all of those ways, pause the video, and come back and we'll talk about doing another transposition activity for our pentascale. All right, so our next activity is going to be to transpose our pentascale to G and A position. So all of this is going to mean, very simply, that we're going to take that starting hand position with our thumb of our right hand on C and our pinky of our left hand on C, and we're just going to move that up to G to begin with. And we're going to go ahead and do our activity the exact same. Remember, our counts are the same, our finger numbers are the same, and the directions that the notes move up and down exactly the same. So let's go ahead and try it together in G. 1, 2, ready, go. And left hand, go. Excellent. So now you're going to take that hand position that you just had and move it up just to the very next note, to A. So right hand thumb on A, left hand pinky on A. And let's go ahead and try that one and notice how it sounds a little bit different. Ready, go. And left hand, go. Excellent job. So you can see that depending on where we start, we get a little bit of a different sound. C and G pentascales sound really similar, and A pentascale sounds a little bit different, and that is because of the pattern of the notes can create a little bit of a different sound, and we'll learn a little bit more about that as we go along in our course. So a little bonus exploration activity is to try doing a pentascale starting on every white key. And notice which ones sound the same, which ones sound different, and which ones sound kind of bizarre. And that will be an excellent way to practice your pentascale fingerings as well. Let's go ahead and turn over to page 23. And we're going to be looking at warming up with our thirds. So when we're talking about our seconds and our warm-ups doing pentascales, when we talk about doing our thirds, so that is skipping over one key, so from C to E is the third, from D to F is a third, from E to G, and going back down, and that's because we span 3 letter names, okay? Thirds can also be called skips, seconds can also be called steps. And when we do our warm up with thirds through here, we're going to start in the exact same C pentascale hand position. So right hand thumb on C, left hand pinky on C, left hand thumb will be on G. So we're going to go through this one, and I would like for you to first tap out the rhythm and count that aloud. So pause the video and tap and count the rhythm. And then join me back here, and we're going to play through this. First line is right hand, the second line is left hand, and we're going to repeat the second time. So let's go ahead and give this a try after you have tapped out the counting, and then we're going to do this together on finger numbers. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 1, 1, 1, 3, 3, 5, and hold it. 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 1, 1, 1, 3, 3, 5, and then we're going to repeat really quiet. Ready, go. 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 1, 1, 1, 3, 3, 5, and hold it. 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 1, 1, 1, 3, 3, 5, and hold. Excellent job! So now I would like for you to pause the video and practice next playing our warm-up with thirds, saying letter names, and then playing and counting at the same time. Once you have finished practicing it those ways, I want you to try playing it high on the keyboard and then low on the keyboard and note the differences of sound. So go ahead and pause the video, practice it all of those ways, and then come back and we're going to transpose. So we're going to go ahead and try first in G. So we're going to take right hand thumb on G, left hand pinky on G, and we're going to do this exact same warm-up. I'm going to say the letter names as we play this and doing it exactly the same way. Ready, go. G, B, D, D, B, G, 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 B, B, D, and hold left hand. D, B, G, G, B, D, 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 B, B, G. Excellent job. So then we're going to go ahead and move up one step. Right hand thumb on A, left hand pinky on A, and play this in A position. And notice that difference in sound when we use this pentascale position. Ready, go. A, C, E, E, C, A, C, C, E, and left hand go. E, C, A, C, B, E, C, C, A, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job with these two warm-ups. So you can practice this one also. Try starting it on every white key and note the differences in sound. Which ones are similar, which ones are different, and which ones are bizarre. And that will be a great way to practice playing thirds. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on to page 24 and 25 to play Ode to Joy, which I'm sure most of you are very familiar with. And it's always excellent to learn with songs that are familiar because then our ear is an excellent way to check if we're doing the right thing or not. So looking at the very top of the page, this is a great piece to introduce the concept of musical form. The form is just the structure, it's the plan. And what it really points out is where is the music the same and where is it different? So they use a few things through here called A prime, which is the A with the little 1 beside it, and B. So in this piece, we look at the first line and we're going to call that A because it's the very first thing that we do. we look at the second line, they're calling that A prime because it's, if we look at the note names, they're almost exactly identical until we get to that very last measure. So it's not a totally new thing, it's just slightly different. So we add that little caveat. If we look at the third line on the top of page the second page, page 25, that's completely different. It is a totally different melody and totally different notes than we had on the first two. So that's why we'll call that B. It's completely different. It's something totally new. And then if we look at the very bottom, we have mostly the same notes as we did at the beginning. It starts almost exactly the same, and that ending is the very same as the second line. What have we changed? We're doing the hands together there, so they're playing the same notes. So the structure of this would be A, A prime, B, A prime, because it's kind of showing us the areas where the music is similar versus where it's different. So just a little interesting point to look at when you see your pieces and you can analyze where are things similar and where are they different. So also, a great thing to go ahead and circle would be to circle the repeated notes throughout this piece because there's quite a lot of them, and also circle the right hand and left hand markings as well as the place where we play hands together so that you're on track for where to use which hand, especially the left hand note at the very end of that third line, the top of page 25. That's a really easy one to skip, so make sure you go ahead and circle that. Then I would like for you to go through and say the note names out loud. You can think them in your head if you're around other people, but going through and just noting the note names would be an excellent prep to playing this piece. Then we're going to go ahead and start in our C pentascale position. So see if you can find it all by yourself, and then I'll remind you. It's right there, so it's pretty easy to find. But just as a reminder, right hand thumb on C, left hand pinky on C. So we're going to go ahead and go through, and I'll say the finger numbers out loud the first time, and then you will practice saying the letter names out loud. Okay. 1, 2, ready, go. 3, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, I'm sorry. I started with the wrong finger number. We're going to start over again. Whoops, technical difficulties. Ready, go. 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2, left hand, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, 5. Next line, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, left hand, 1, hands together, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1. Excellent job. So go ahead and practice that one a few more times until you feel very comfortable with it. Try saying it with the letter names or even with the counts as you're practicing, and then come back and join for the teacher duet. All right, so let's go ahead and try this together. So for your part to sound the best, make sure that you're playing very high on the keyboard. All right, and I will count us in together. 1, 2, ready, go. Beautiful job. All right, so for continuing your practice on this piece, I would love for you to transpose this to a G pentascale position, which is provided for you right here at the bottom of your page, and also an A pentascale position. And a creative activity would be to, for the A position, come up with a title that matches the sound of it in an A position, because it's not going to sound like Ode to Joy. Joy is not the emotion that we would associate with how this sounds in an A position. So go ahead and try practicing it in those two different pentascales, and then join me back for our next page. So for your practice assignment this week, I want you to keep working on all of the pages from today and continue to perfect the pieces that you need to work on. As usual, in your weekly guide document, you can use the practice log chart that's provided if that's helpful for you. I'd also like for you to look at page 26, which is our study in seconds and thirds for right hand and for left hand. So this is just a great warm-up activity. This would be a great way to introduce your practice each day playing this. This is another one that you can try starting on any note. You can try it starting on C, D, E, F, G, as many different combinations as you'd like, and note the differences. Then I'd like for you to look over at page 28 and 29. This is going to be our orientation to reading on the staff. So this is just covering the information and some of the basics about reading music and writing music on the staff on both of these pages. This is always intimidating for people when they start to learn music. Maybe some of you know this already and it's a little bit more familiar, and maybe some of you are brand new. This is not hard. Do not be intimidated. I want you to go ahead and just look at it first this week. So just look at it, just read it over without even having to try to play pieces yet. And familiarize yourself with the idea of lines and spaces, the grand staff, right hand, left hand, bass clef and treble clef, and the orderings of the notes. Something that is very important and may be potentially tragic to some of you is that I despise the acronyms that many of you know for Every Good Boy Does Fine, or FACE, or Elvis Goes Boogie Down the Freeway is one that I've heard. If you're familiar with those, I would recommend finding a hypnotist who can try to make you forget them. And if you can't do that, just stop using them immediately. I have very strong feelings about this, but it's the alphabet, not even the whole alphabet, only 7 letters of the alphabet, is far more simple than creating a mnemonic device. If you notice, look over here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It just repeats over and over again. And the only function of putting these things on the lines is you can look at this as like a measuring stick, just to show you the distance between 2 different notes without having to put the actual note name in there. That's really all that it is, and that's why it was developed centuries ago when we began writing music this way. It's to show us the distances, and also to show us the difference between, we can write an A very high on the keyboard and an A very low on the keyboard, and they have 2 separate ways of being written, which is really helpful instead of having to write in the note name and then say this should be low or high. So that is my speech for today about looking at these pages. So I encourage you, if you're totally unfamiliar, just look and read over. If you are a little bit familiar and you maybe need to unlearn some of your previous thoughts about this, go ahead and just try to look at it with some new eyes. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at your first pair of major five-finger patterns, also known as major pentascales for this week, which is C and G. So if we go ahead and take a look at page 176 in your book, we can see they have all of our five-finger patterns written out for us, just like this. So on the side of the page, they show us a little image of a blank keyboard, and this is what you guys are going to fill in like the written assignment, showing you exactly which notes we have. And then also at the bottom, we have this pattern of W's and H's, okay? And the W stands for whole step, and the H stands for half step. So to explain that really quickly, a half step would be when we play on the piano, we play from one note to the very next note, whether it's black or white. So in this case, going from C, we would go up to that first of the group of two black keys. If I wanted to play a half step up from this black key, I would go from here to D. If I wanted to go here, I'd go to that second of the group of two. If I want to play up a half step from E, it would be F because there's no black key in the middle. So these two are right next to each other. And it does the same thing going down. Playing half steps like that. A whole step is just two half steps. So if I play from C to D, that would be a whole step because I have a half step from C to the black key and a half step from the black key to D. So those two together would make one whole step. C to D would be a whole step. E to F would be a whole step. D to E would be a whole step. E to F would not be a whole step because there's no black key in the middle. This is just one half step right here. And then F to G is a whole step because we have that black key in the middle. So all you really need to know for your purposes is that all of our major five-finger patterns follow the exact same progression of half steps and whole steps. Whole, whole, half, whole. And so when we move around the keyboard, the reason that we end up changing our the notes that we use, and sometimes we're using black keys and sometimes we're using white keys, is so that we can preserve that exact same pattern of whole, whole, half, whole. So we're going to go ahead and play through your C major five-finger pattern and your G major five-finger pattern as it's written on the page right there. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, and then we play 5, 3, 1 all together. So what I'm going to go through and I'm going to do is I'm going to say it one time with the finger numbers, basically exactly what I just did, one time with the note names, and then one time without anything, just so you can hear it without me talking over it. And then I'll also do the same thing for G major. I would definitely recommend that you give this a try hands separately. Try just your right hand, then just your left hand, and then put it together, and that will make this a lot easier. So here we go with our C major. And I'll say note names first, then fingers, then all alone. 1, 2, ready, go. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C, E, G, E, C, then blocked chord. Finger numbers, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, and blocked chord. Now all alone. And now I'll go ahead and try G major. So we're going to place our right hand thumb on G, left hand pinky on G. Ready, go. G, A, B, C, D, C, B, A, G, B, D, B, G, and all together. Finger numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, and 1, 3, 5, all alone.
And so for your assignment for this one, all you're going to turn in is just a video of you playing those five-finger patterns. You can say something while you do it. You can say the note names or the finger numbers or whatever, but you don't have to. You can just do it exactly as I just played them. All right?
So would like for you to fill out the activities here on page 27 of your workbook. So we have at the top review of seconds and thirds, a little rhythm tapping exercise, and then here at the bottom we have a black key improvisation. So I'm going to record now the accompaniment part that goes underneath this for you. What you're going to do is you're simply going to follow the instructions here, and you're going to create a piece on the spot. So all you have to do is just play on the black keys while I play my part, and you can play both hands at the same time, just one hand. The only rule is that it has to be black keys. I encourage you to listen maybe to the accompaniment a little bit to get an idea of what kinds of sounds or rhythms you would like to add to this improvisation, and then there's no right or wrong. This is a time for you to be creative. So here we go. So listen a few times. I'll play this accompaniment through several times, and you can play your improvisation over.